Hello, and greetings from RPGmodsFan. I have broken up my walkthrough, review, and discussion of the D&D B6, the Veiled Society module, into 3 parts. In this first part, I will discuss the player's appropriate portion of the module. Starting next week, I will release the second and third parts, which are the walkthrough and DM's guide of the module, and are appropriate for Dungeon Masters only. So, without further ado, here is the first part. Hello, and greetings, lovely person. This is RPGmodsFan. In this video, I will be reviewing and discussing the Dungeons & Dragons module B6, The Veiled Society, which was written by David Zeb Cook and published by TSR in 1984. This module was meant for player characters between the levels of 1 to 3, meaning it is a beginner dungeon adventure. This module was written for AD&D First Edition rules. However, the module has more of an emphasis on role-playing than it does on combat. Hence, it can be readily used for 5th edition D&D with hardly any conversion needed. The B6 module is a departure from the previous modules in the B series. It is not a dungeon crawl or a sandbox adventure. It is an urban adventure taking place completely within a city with intrigue and warring families. I confess, my impetus for doing a walkthrough of the B6 module came from watching Dungeon Craft's series of videos titled The Reviled Society. The main gimmick of the module is that it has several pages of cut-out sections to construct 3-dimensional paper structures and buildings out of. Unless you reinforce the backing with cardboard, you can imagine how flimsy these paper constructs will be. The B6 module can be adapted for almost any D&D campaign setting. The adventure itself takes place in a large city. Thus, it can be modified to take place in Waterdeep in the Forgotten Realms setting. Likewise, a Dungeon Master can have the adventure take place in the city of Greyhawk in the Greyhawk campaign setting. However, canonically, this adventure takes place in the fantasy world of Mystara, on the continent of Brunn. On the continent of Brunn, this adventure takes place within the Grand Duchy of Karamikos. Although called a duchy, in reality, Karamikos is a kingdom. The current ruler of Karamikos is Grand Duke Stefan Karamikos III. His elite troops are known as the Elven Guard. Within Karamikos, the adventure takes place in the city of Specularum, which is a large city and is the capital of the Grand Duchy of Karamikos. The city is like the medieval cities of Italy and Germany. Its streets are narrow, twisting, dark, dirty, and muddy. The city is unsanitary, with no sewage system. Poor workers and petty thieves live outside its city walls. Most of the temples of the city are dedicated to lawful deities. There are a few dedicated to neutral deities. Temples of chaotic deities operate in secret. Although not necessary for running the B6 module, Dungeon Masters who want more details on the city of Specularum, I would suggest downloading Threshold Magazine issue number 21 from Pandius's website, which is available for download for free. For Dungeon Masters who want more details on the Duchy of Karamikos, I would suggest getting Gazetteer issue number 1. Like the Threshold magazine, this issue of the Gazetteer is not necessary for running the B6 module. This issue was published in 1987, which is 3 years after the B6 module was published. So, just be aware that some changes were made, including the map of Specularum being changed. The adventure starts with the player character's party heading to the city of Specularum. At the gate, the city gate guards tax each member of the party 8 silver pieces. The guards tell the player characters that all weapons, except for daggers, must be tied and bound. In a harsh tone, the guards then tell the player characters to behave themselves while in the city. The Festival of Lucor is taking place just inside this city. When the adventuring party finally enters into the city, a festival procession will be heading their way. In front of them are 3 men intensely arguing with each other. These arguing men are also halting the procession from progressing. Thus starts the B6, the Veiled Society module, where the player characters soon find themselves involved in the power struggles of the city.